That's the annoying thing.
Yeah, well, Ches will take over with his stream from his computer.
Oh, okay, fine.
What?
It's okay. We're just discussing some technical issues on stream. Welcome back. Sorry, it's been a bit of a while. We've had a bit of an issue, but we are back, and it's all kicking off. It's all kicking off on track. We've got Dexter Cray, who's heavily under pressure from Bjorkman, who's in the GT3. What I would like to do is welcome you to Hayden, who is the boss, the gaffer of Toga Motorsport.
Welcome in, guys. Sorry about this. This is my issue that I've had. My internet has decided not to play ball today. It's been something that's been happening happened yesterday, in fact, and I thought it was just down to a blip in terms of, just my internet for a split second. But today it's carried on, and I don't know what the issue is. I thought my settings were too high on OBS, but it's not that. So I do apologise for causing a bit of a headache for everybody. We are back, and hopefully this is going to be a very interesting 4 hours and 5 minutes left of this race.
Absolutely, and we're seeing, the top 10. We've got GT3s battling GT2s. For track position. We've got Donaldson and McLaren right behind Carter trying to get his way past. We've got Dexter Cray, who's heavily under pressure. He is now 25 seconds almost behind Ballawender in his Porsche. Now Ballawender has done a double stint, so we would anticipate him coming in soon to change driver and put someone else in the car. But obviously, Hayden, you haven't seen much because you've been busy stewarding and doing other things in real life, but this race has been absolutely intense for the past 2 hours. There's battles going all over the place, and it's a bit of a struggle keeping up with everybody.
I can imagine. And not only that, it's the first first race really since the new DLC update, not only with the GT2s but with the Red Bull Ring as well. So having the mix of different classes in this race, plus a sprinkling of a new track, it's a very, very interesting combination, if you like. But we still got a fair amount of drivers on track. I have seen, unfortunately, we've had to have a few retirees. We're down to 45 people, and I'm pretty sure the grid was completely maxed at the start of this event. So it's good to see, a retention of drivers still. We're still with the 40s, which is obviously really good to see.
Yeah,
and have people around.
We had talked about this at the start, where not many people will have raced GT3s versus GT2s in this track. So GT3s are getting a shock when the GT2s are having to brake so much earlier, and they're so much slower into the corner. It's really good experience. If you added GT4s into the mix, I don't even know if we'd have a voice left.
100% not, no.
It's absolutely amazing to see this, and we didn't expect GT3s to be so high up in the grid, and it's no disrespect to any of the GT3 drivers. It is purely we thought the GT2s would be out driving the rest of them just for the out and out speed, but it's not happening.
No, 100%. Yeah, we were toying with the idea of having GT4s in this race as well, but I think it's best off that we didn't have GT4s in here. I think it would have been an absolute carnage, to say at the very least. I have GT4s in there as well. Yeah,
I agree. I think GT4s would have caused headaches for everyone else as well, on top of what they're having to deal with. So maybe the next time people are then getting used to the track, used to how the GT2s react. Daryl, please remember you owe 50 quid to charity. Thank you. And I hope you still have us on in the staff room in the big telly. Daryl bet 50 quid at the start of the Bear Red Flag.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he did.
He bet 50. He bet £50.
He
thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, Daryl, crikey, mate. That's it. That's very interesting for you to donate £50, and thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's your salary gone for today, I imagine, or a good chunk of it gone, I'd imagine. Thanks, Daryl.
Oh man, yeah, be very careful what you bet on.
Yeah, exactly. To be fair, I was very, I was shocked not to see a red flag. To be fair, because it just had red flag written all over it at the start of this race, with the incidences that we had at the start, or potential incidences we're going to have at the start. To have that no red flag was actually very, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And as we say, Cray is now under pressure on the 42 Mercedes as we speak. This is for track position. 0.2 or 0.3 of the gap between Cray and
this
Bjorkman.
could be it. Oh no. The drive Bjorkman got out of that first corner was immense, but the GT2 power's keeping Dexter Cray ahead of him at the moment.
Yeah, 100%.
We're just wondering. Oh, he has a little look. Ooh, that was close.
Just getting in the way.
Yeah. We're just wondering. Ches had quite a. We wondered why the GT2s seem to be slowing down the longer the race goes on, and we just think whether it's tyre issue or because the GT2s eat through their tyres so much quicker, as you know, than the GT3s do. Whether that's what the issue is, but Dexter he's been under pressure since he got into the car. I have to say he's dealt with the pressure well. He's had to get past back markers while trying to keep a very eager Bjorkman behind him. And in fact, that's pushing Bjorkman back into Nefediev as well. This race is immense. It's bringing so much talent and it's bringing so much show to the sim racing community that this is just amazing. And
top. Oh god, sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, it was just to see more of this, maybe even on a different track. I think it's just going to be immense. I wonder if the red flag was it didn't happen because of the amount of runoff area in the first turn. Everybody managed to avoid cars that were sideways facing the wrong way. I wonder if the barriers were a lot closer to the track, we probably would have ended up with a red flag because people had nowhere to go.
That's true. No, that is true. And what I was going to say, tyre deg is ridiculous here. I don't know if you've done much racing in terms of stint wise, but I did a couple of LFM races this week on around this track, and even a 25-minute race in a GT3, tyre deg was high, like ridiculously high. So I can imagine the GT2s are chewing through their tyres, especially when they're on a 65-minute stint, because obviously you don't want to box before your stint's finished, because you're just going to be going backwards in the grid. So very, very interesting to see lap times slowly dipping off, and as the temperatures drop, because bearing in mind now this is the sort of the highest temperature in the race, if you like. With the service going live at 12 p.m. in game time, lunchtime in game time, obviously I thought the Mercedes was going off there. The deg is obviously going to get better as the evening sun sets, and we sort of move into the sort of late afternoon, evening time.
Yep, absolutely. So that's released the pressure off Dexter slightly in terms of Ballawender going in earlier into the pits. In fact, was it Ballawender? No, he's still out racing. So, sorry, Bjorkman. Bjorkman is now into the pits, which has released the pressure off Dexter Cray ever so slightly. Dexter now 31 seconds behind Ballawender. Ballawender is knocking laps in like it's a qualifying lap each and every time. Dexter still holds the fastest lap with a 128.277, which in race trim is very, very fast. They've done 81 laps of this already. That's a huge amount of concentration. I mean, I struggle with 25 minutes on LFM, never mind. And I'm doing a double stint at the end of the race, so I better watch what I'm saying. But I don't know about you, Hayden, but it's a whole different race doing endurance to just doing LFM dailies. A different mindset altogether. Yeah,
it is. And apologies, I have been been ascended on by my brother. So Max is just coming to here whilst we're live. But yeah, no, I totally agree. There is a different. You have to drive different. With LFM, you can just literally just go gun ho and just not worry about, saving tyres or anything along those lines. Whereas with endurance, you've got to think, well, do I go for that gap? Because I could ruin my race. If not, I just wait and just see if I can get it back at another time, or keep putting the pressure on. So yeah, driving style is completely different compared to sort of sprint racing compared to endurance racing. I've not really done much endurance racing myself. I'd love to do more, but again, it's just time, especially with hosting all these events at Toga Motorsport. It's difficult to try and find time when there isn't much time, because we're doing a lot of different events. So yeah, it's something I want to get into maybe in the future for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't want to hand the car back with damage or with penalties, and handing the car on to another driver, and you're like, no. You inherit all of this trouble before you even get out the pit stop. So we're seeing.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, sometimes the car naturally just doesn't feel the same from the get-go, regardless of damage. The car does over time, wear. Yeah. And I remember once we did an endurance race at, I think it was Barcelona, or it might be Suzuka actually. And we had no damage. We had a fairly decent setup in the Audi at that time.
Yep.
And first few stints were fine. I jumped in the car and I was like, guys, this car is trash. Like, who's crashed it? And we had no damage at all.
All right.
And they were like, oh, it's just you. And I was like, it's definitely not me, because it's not how I felt the car drive during practice and quali.
Yep.
And then when my stint was finished, someone else jumped back in the car and they were like, oh my god, yeah, the car feels completely different. So I thought it was me, but it can't happen. The car obviously wears over time. The engine starts to wear, because obviously over time you can get an orange engine, and just the car just. If you don't change brakes as well, I very much doubt these drivers are changing their brakes here as well. I'm not sure if you are in your team, but
no, we haven't talked about it, to be fair. So
yeah, I wonder if a lot of these drivers aren't changing brakes. Obviously, there you're going to start seeing brake fade, no doubt.
Yeah,
from
absolutely.
Especially the GT2s, for having to stop the car at a greater speed, you would imagine that the brakes will start to go a lot quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing Fraggerwood down in 30th getting a drive-through. That must be for track limits.
Track limits, yeah.
So, he's got a bit of pain to do, especially if he's just jumped into the car. I don't know if he's started the stint or not. I really wish race control was a lot better than what it is for giving information. But, I mean, absolutely. And the thing is, as Hayden says, you've got wear and tear on the car. If you start being aggressive on downshifts, the gearbox isn't going to be happy. You're harsh on the tyres. Just 6 hours of punishment is what these cars are getting. So it's basically one careful owner and 3 mad drivers if the cars were ever to go on eBay. And
100%.
I certainly wouldn't be buying one, that's for sure. Adrenal on Twitch, the endurance pads should hold for 12 hours in GT3, not sure for GT2. Yeah, I mean, the pads on GT2s, I don't know if you've seen them, we've talked about them earlier on. They are almost road-going brake pads and brake discs. They're not designed the same way that the GT3 cars are set up, so the wear, I suspect, would probably be a lot higher. But I'll tell you, after 2 hours of driving it in the last 2 hours of the race, whether it's that bad, we'll wait and see. I don't think many people, because I was saying this earlier on, Hayden, that I think we are the first on SimGrid to host a 6 hour on Red Bull.
I think we are. I mean, I've just seen on YouTube that Jardia has just gone live with his community, but they're doing a 90-minute sprint round. Red Bull Ring. So this is the first endurance race around Red Bull Ring. I think I've not seen anyone else do anything else. I know this sounds really cheesy, but a lot of communities had to rearrange. They wanted to do the same thing, but we were fortunate enough to be able to jump in there first and get ahead of everybody else. So we're going to be the guinea pigs here if everyone's going to make their events way better.
Absolutely.
That's us.
So nobody really knows how the GT2s are going to fare in 6 hours. This really is, as Hayden said, we're the guinea pig. We are testing basically to see what happens. We've already had a bit of a shock in terms of the GT3s being quicker in track position than GT2s over a period of time, and we didn't expect it to be such a close battle up and down the grid with GT3s and GT2s. So this really is a suck it and see how it goes. But so far, we're now just past the 2 hour mark. It's been an awesome race, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed it as well. Aces on YouTube, great comms so far, keep it up, lads. Oh, thanks very much, Alex. I hope you're doing well. That'll be your voice very soon that we'll be hearing. Aces on YouTube is our newest commentator. We're going to get him on the schedule as soon as possible as well. We've seen a lot of them coming into the pits now, so they're obviously going as far as they can into the 65-minute on each driver or each stint, because at the end of the day, if you come in earlier, you're actually wasting time, and as Hayden said earlier on, you'll start losing time for no reason for that. So we've got Dexter Cray and Ballawender now into the pits. We'll see if Ballawender is going for a third stint, or are they swapping over. Dexter, I'm assuming, is maybe coming out the car. He's juggling a little bit like me. He's got stewarding and he's got driving to do. So yeah, it's all about trying to manage your tiredness or your focus. But now that means Zeiss, Hearn and Gray are basically coming up to take over the lead now. Ballawender is already out, and it's Benz who's taken over. Kiru Benz has now come on to the Porsche and is still ahead at the moment. Dexter still in the pits, so
it's a very close battle. It's a very close battle between 5, 6 and 7, isn't it, on track? And that's 2 GT2s and a GT3. So that the GT3 of Wilson, car 42, they're driving. They're having a very, very, very strong race.
Yep.
And obviously with the Porsche out in front, I mean, they're absolutely flying right now. Mm-hmm. So they are. They are. Dexter is back out again. I think Dexter is double stinting. Yeah. So I think this is Dexter's 2 stints essentially. He's doing it in 2 blocks, and then he's back in the comms. In the steward's box. So. Big shout out to everyone that is doing things today, like extra things. I'm really annoyed that my internet hasn't held up, which is really frustrating because I'm not sure what it is. Because normally I'm pretty, it's pretty good. Yeah. But there's something clearly on my network that's doing some uploading, or it could just be my provider capping me, I suppose. But if they are, that upload speed is not streamable at all. So I need to maybe looking at an alternative provider maybe. But
people of a certain age will understand what 33.6 modem is and what dial-up is. That's basically what Hayden's got at the moment. So
worse. I think it's actually worse than that, I think, to be honest.
Alex, thank you very much for subscribing on YouTube. Airy Fasttail, how are you doing? Good to see you in the chat.
Ari's in.
He is. So it is a huge battle, between 4th, 5th and 6th. It's spattered, and you can see the Maserati trying to get past. Are they teammates? Because that's very similar livery, but side by side through turn 1.
They are teammates. They are a team. Wow. 2 separate teams. Owned racing. They are. So. You've got I think you've got a pro team and you've got an RTO team or an LFM team. So there is a mishmash of drivers in there.
And you can see Wilson is right on the back. He doesn't want to leave anything on the plate. And you can see there's so many back markers now. Look at this.
Look, that is nightmare, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. You've got 4 back markers all fighting for position while you're trying to lap them. We've got Kajbel in the Maserati P9 got a stop go for 30, So
Ooh.
that would be, is that double track limits, maybe?
That could be speeding in the pit lane.
Oh,
Stop go
speeding in
30, I'm
pits,
pretty
yeah.
sure is stop go 30 for
Yep.
speeding in the pit lane. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that is rather unfortunate for him. That's
Yep.
a lot of time. That's a chunk of time lost actually.
Yep.
Being stuck in the pits.
Wilson gets past that Audi GT2 now. He's looking to try and come back as soon as he can. But look at this, they're all getting all over the place.
Blimey.
Back markers. Oh, they're going 3 wide into the first corner.
Oh, he's done well not to collect the back marker there, but that Audi is just going to tear right back past him again.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's the problem, isn't it, with back markers, is that especially with a GT2,
yeah,
this is the scenario I think we were talking about earlier, where a GT3 can't get past the back marker because the back marker has every right to accelerate out of the corner. But he's now under blue flags again.
Yeah.
So what do you do? It's just going to be one of those things. The GT3 can't actually progress because it's stuck behind the GT2 each time. So common sense has to prevail here at some point.
Well, I would think that there has to be a tactic to deal with it, because you can't keep getting held up by slowing, getting stuck behind a car, and it's a to and fro. So do you then ease off, take the pain of easing off for a short period of time, as long as you're obviously not then getting past, let that GT2 go further ahead, and then you can continue your race. But we've seen GT3s overtake GT2s and disappear into the distance, so
true.
Who knows? And I don't think it is always necessarily down to the driver. Benz and Ballawenda, I mean, they're in a class of their own. But you could have a really good GT3 driver with a poor or slower GT2 driver, and it turns the table on its head. So
it does. Oh, yeah, no, it is interesting. I mean, I just want to give credit to that car 42, Luke Wilson in that Mercedes, because I know how much of a pain in the backside a Mercedes is around this track over the last few days that I've been racing LFM. Tyres go off after 25 minutes on an LFM race. That might be me driving, which, let's be honest, it probably is. But tyre deg is ridiculous with that car, especially around this track. 100% it is. So, it's good. It's good. I can see there's so many battles out on track actually, which is. There's just so many back markers everywhere. There's so many back markers everywhere. And
they'll play into some drivers' hands, because if you're fighting with someone ahead, they're trying to concentrate on the back markers. You could then maybe slip past where they've maybe dropped their concentration for a little bit, or vice versa. So this is all adding into the story. If this was EastEnders, or if this was some other soap, this would just be adding a little spice on the top of it, where you just don't know what's going to happen. We promise there won't be any doof-doofs at the end of our commentary, though. So I mean, Seville, who was leading this race for a period of time and disappearing off into the sunset, is now sitting fourth. He is catching Zeiss quite quickly. These two drivers have fought against each other earlier on today, so it's going to be interesting. I think Seville, it's only going to be a matter of time, and that's no disrespect to Zeiss. Seville is just a very quick driver, and I have to say the Maseratis are showing very good performance in this race.
So Dexter did jump out of the car then, because Dexter's now not in that Maserati.
Yep.
He's now jumped out. I just want to say a big shout out to car 19. I don't know if their race is over, but they're currently sitting in the pit lane, not doing anything. So I think that's their race. Their race finished. Over. And Nordell, Carl in the Redman Racing McLaren, they are quite a few laps off the lead now. Yeah. But they're still persevering. I always have a soft spot for teams that might necessarily not be the fastest team out on track, but they certainly try and put a massive effort in.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a shame, and as you said, it's people who maybe didn't hear you earlier on, there was an actual team that was asked at the very last minute to change car because of an issue it was causing for everybody else. So the issue, I don't know if people have heard this before, and I experienced it, was if I'm driving, I come into the pits and someone else then takes over the car, your view immediately gets strapped to the Nissan for some reason. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, some sort of weird bug. Yeah. It's some weird bug where, for example, when they do a driver swap, if there's a Nissan in the lobby, it somehow moves them to the Nissan, and then you can't do any more.
Maybe Kunos really
driver swap.
Love Nissan or something like that, and just want to make sure it's always getting seen. But so what number? What can you remember? What car number it was? It was asked to.
Car 81. It was
81.
Car 81. Yeah, they're currently in P23 in the race.
Huge shout out to the guys in car 21. They went from the Nissan to a McLaren, so that's not an easy thing to do. Even if you have driven the McLaren a lot, you've been practicing a Nissan. You've maybe doing stints in a Nissan. You've been doing a lot of practice in the background, and then all of a sudden you're used to that car behaving like that. You're straight into a McLaren as well. Yeah. So a huge thank you from everybody at Toga to Team 81. Thank you so much for doing such a selfless task to allow us to be able to race today. Our hats come off.
Yeah, I've just seen Chair's message saying he's got a headache and he might not be able to do comms later. I have just spoken to Ollie. This is sort of admin behind the scenes. Ollie is prepared to do the streaming for us and step in for
Ollie's
Chair's.
here.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, God. You said his name too many times.
No. Yeah, he said it 3 times.
Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
Ollie, if you can, that'd be fantastic, because obviously Mac
I've got my OBS open already. I'm ready to roll.
Cool. So when Mac's jumping out of the car, about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Yep. 20 minutes.
Yeah. So you might have to be.
I can only be here till 7 p.m. unfortunately.
Well, what time I'm quarter? So I could do one stint and come back in for 6:45 and do the last stint commentary. Let me just message the team and see if Davida or Zita would be willing to do that for me.
I can basically be with you on comms from 6:45 onwards, basically.
Yeah, cool.
So I can be with you all the way to the bitter end from 6:45 onwards, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'm mazeballs, absolutely. Right, I'm going to go quiet for a minute. I'll just message
Does that mean
I'll let you...
I'm going to be flying solo for the next hour?
No, Zeta should be around.
Zeta, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Zeta was supposed to be in here with us, but I'll just give you an update. My internet upload speed has just literally fallen off a cliff, and I thought it was just a one-off and a blip, but unfortunately we had the same problem when I went live with the streams. So unfortunately Max had to step in, so we just had to have a little bit of a rejig around with ordering. So if you can help out in any way, shape or form,
yeah, of course,
that would be fantastic.
I'll be here until about 7 o'clock. Yeah,
that's perfect. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
I mean, in all fairness, it's not like there's a shortage of action to commentate on.
Absolutely.
But seriously, I've been watching for about what, half an hour now, and I've seen no joke 5 wide on the run to turn 3 twice in half an hour.
I know, and not only that, right? There's been the back marker situation is incredible. The amount of
Hello, Davida. How are you doing?
Hello, Mark. I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good.
With some faster drivers in the front right?
I know it's been a bit of a nightmare for a lot of people. I've just put a message into our little group chat. I need to do comms for the very last stint, and I don't know if Zita or yourself could cover my last stint in the car. I wouldn't ask, but we don't have any commentator or anyone to stream the last hour.
No, I can definitely do that, don't worry.
Oh, you're an absolute legend. I owe you a beer, so I do. Yeah, no problem. So I'll do 6:45 to 6:45, and then that means you're just doing the last one. I take it that it's not going to mess your stints.
6:45, it's not gonna be.
That's not going to be enough because it's.
Yeah.
8.
I need to most 1 hour and 5 in the car, so maybe if you can stretch it a little bit farther ahead.
Yeah, I can do 7. I can do 7.
Yeah.
So I can.
That would be.
And presses the button.
Well, he's back in the chat. So
Yeah, sorry, I absolutely forgot I was streaming, and me and David are having a conversation, and I can't work out why Ches knows what I'm saying, and then I'm like, all right, okay, yeah, I'm streaming. All right, okay, poor David. Thankfully, nothing bad was said. David is going to do 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock to cover my stint, so.
Mazeballs.
Yeah, so there'll be a very short, but I'll take over just after 7, so a couple of minutes after 7 I'll take over for the last hour streaming, and whoever wants to be in...
I'll be with you. Yeah,
okay, cool.
I'll stay to the end, mates. It's not a problem at all.
I am going to be...
Does that mean we need to jump back in the car at some point?
Look how many commentators we got now. Look, we are literally we
went from none till 4.
Everyone and their dog is in this chat right now. We are. Dexter's here as well. What's happening?
What? Oh no! We've got a steward in with us as well.
Oh, we need to come and commentate, and I don't know what's going on anymore.
We've been infiltrated by the stewards.
Oh, to be fair, I invited Dexter. So I did. I invited him. Dexter, you were having a fair battle for that entire stint you did.
You could call it that, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what that Porsche has got fuel-wise that was ahead of you in P1, but there was just nothing you could do to even try and gain any time back on it.
I wasn't that bothered. He's a different class.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you feel, I mean, obviously you've been practicing the GT2, did you feel there was any difference jumping in it today than there was any other day?
It actually feels better because my teammate made a setup and it's so much better than what I was using.
Okay. Because we were wondering, a lot of the GT2s are starting to fall off pace and the GT3s are starting to come through the pack more, and we wondered if there was actually some long-term degradation in the GT2s that were causing them to slow down. So it may just be different drivers. Oh, it's a Porsche wrong way round. But
to see.
Especially the last corner when you come down your full pelt and you, oh no.
Yeah.
So yes, you pure stewards have been really busy today. I mean,
well, the start was understatement. Busy is not the word for it.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah.
I started dozing off reading about the 10th penalty that was getting handed out, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot. This is. I mean, we didn't have a red flag, but I was saying this to Hayden. I don't know if the huge runoff in turn 1 meant people were able to avoid each other, so it wasn't the same as, let's say, for instance, Monaco, where the barriers are right on the track limit edge. You know, you've nowhere to go if you've got a car sideways, but turn 1 you've got a huge gap where you could avoid. So I don't know if that's part of why we didn't have a red flag.
Definitely helps there. Turn 1 and turn 3 both got runoff, so it means when people get close, you can get off the track and then get back on safely.
Yep, absolutely.
Can't say about the rest of the track, it's all just gravel, but apart from the last corners.
Yeah, it's
it was interesting, wasn't it? The start of the race was interesting because, from my point of view, I was semi-expecting a red flag. Let's be honest. Daryl's expected a red flag because he's put money against it, and now he owes £50 to charity or wherever because he clocked up basically. But a very interesting race start. But even still, what about the forms? Have you had many? I haven't checked myself, but has there been many outcomes after the 30 minutes, or has it been okay, if you like?
So for the past hour and a bit, well, almost 2 hours now. Actually, no, it is an hour. My math is right. I don't know. I'm not mathing it. We've got 36 reports basically.
Okay.
A lot of them are NFA. Had about 9 penalties go out from the reports. So not too bad.
Not too bad, yeah.
It seems like everyone's now getting into their rhythm, getting into their pace, getting into their gaps. A lot less instances are happening.
Yeah, I think it's I think we were saying. Oh, there's a car track somewhere.
There's 124 pointing the wrong direction.
Yeah, I was going to say there's definitely a car facing the wrong way. I think also with the fact that this is a brand new circuit, a brand new endurance race as well, for people that they're going to find it difficult to start. Well, it's going to be difficult at the start to try and work the track out, get into a rhythm, and then we should be fine. If you go to Spa or Kyalami, somewhere like that, people know what it's like to do endurance racing there. This is a complete unknown for most people because we've not done it before. No one's done this before, so hopefully it should settle down a bit. Yes.
So, sorry, can I interrupt? Right, I'm going to stop the stream. Ollie's going to pick up the stream again. So, did you create any extra YouTube?
Yeah, I've done it all. I've sent it to him. He's got the 545 stream key, so Ollie should be able to get cracking with that ASAP.
Right, okay, I'm going to go. If you're on YouTube, please go into the next part. If you're on Twitch, stay exactly where you are. The stream will be starting again in a minute, and I will speak to you about 7 o'clock tonight. Love you all.
Thank you, Matt. Enjoy your stint, mate. Enjoy your stint.
Thank you. Don't concentrate on me too much, please. I'll crash.